Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's weekly SEO news video slash podcast. I will also be uploading this audio to Spotify as per requested by some people watching this. Today, I have no co hosts, sadly. Casper and Linus are both unavailable, but my name is Frederick Drost. I work at Precis Digital, where we do SEO and a bunch of other things, best in the business. And yeah, let's dive right into it. So first up here, we've got a nice little analysis here with the latest ChatGPT insights on mentions and referrals. I think again, read through it. It's really interesting. One of the things I took away from it is if you want, being first movers is an advantage, of course, but good or strong SEO still does deliver quick results and long-term results. So focusing on good SEO overall, very holistically, will help you in the long run when it comes to AI and LLMs. So really, really good. They do still rely a lot on Bing and Google when it comes to searching, but for how long, and hopefully they will try and adopt some of the same metrics Google are, although that is going to be hard to catch up to some of those algorithms. Next up here, there's a really interesting blog post from Ahrefs here on how AI detectors work and how to minimize detection. Now, let's be careful here. It's really interesting to know how AI detectors work. I would say Google might not want to see too much AI content, and I think Google will try and figure out what is written by humans, and that usually will increase the EAT or the authority of some of this content. So again, not trying to game the system here. I think it's okay to use AI for the process of creating content, but we do need the last part to be human verified. And I think the minimization of detection is something that's worth doing if you're already working on the content, if you're fact checking it, if there's anything you can do while fact checking it and making it, authoritative and trustworthy, might as well do that. We don't want to get detected for AI content when we've actually done the human work required. Again, another article here I put in a must read, another guide on optimizing content for AI systems. I think these keep coming out, so this is something I'll keep adding to the list of guides. This one I think, has the most insights, the most kind of like checkpoints. So I would say this is probably one of the better ones that have come out here. And again, I'm not going to go into too much detail here. I know structured text wins, structured data is a good thing, metadata. But they're also talking a lot about timeouts like JavaScript and how long the content takes to load, et cetera, et cetera. Also something about bot protection, so Cloudflare might be blocking AI crawlers, et cetera. So really interesting guide, probably the best in the business right now. I have updated our internal documentation for this, if anyone watching from Precis. So our guide to LLMs and how to optimize for LLMs and AI overviews has this new information in it. Next up, another must read here. Google is now testing some rich card sections at the top of search results. So again, there's like core sections, with these products, and you click on them, it opens a new search. But you can basically see, let me see if I can actually show you guys. So this was Brody Clark, Brody SEO. Follow him on Twitter, one of the best in the business. He's really worth following. And you can see here, it's really interesting how they have the more product section, more stores, and then more forums as well. So the forum part, which is actually a pretty good result, I would say. And again, just making sure if you have a client in e-commerce, really important to have your merchant feeds set up, all these things. Those will be the big breadwinners, I think, this year. Google is testing a lot of this stuff in terms of like being a shopping place, so to speak. They want to keep people there, at least part of the process when it comes to purchasing, whether it's from the beginning to final purchase. Google wants you to stay on Google, which is fine, but we need to then be present there as well. Then this is quite interesting. So Aleda Solis shared this free tool to create like an LLMs.txt note or piece of a Word doc that you can then upload to the root server of your server, of course, the root folder, of your server, and basically helps LLMs understand it. Now, again, there's really no conclusion or evidence that LLMs are following this, or the crawlers are following this and looking into the LLM.txt. But again, it's so easy to do, and we might as well do it, I think, to be ahead of the game. So yeah, it's a quick and easy possible win there. And then I keep sharing these just to make sure we're not doing this and anyone isn't doing this. Here's another example of a website that just started producing mass AI content at scale. And it worked really well. They ranked for so many keywords, got traffic, and then they completely dropped. So again, just want to make sure that we don't just publish tons of AI content without actually putting in the work. It can be dangerous. Google doesn't like it. And then the quality raters guidelines has been updated. Aleda Solis is doing a fantastic job as giving us these changes. I think the takeaways here is there's some scaled content abuse, which is a very nice segue from the previous news there with the drop in rankings there. So scaled content abuse. AI generated content as well has been mentioned and changed. Expired domain abuse, very interesting, especially since I own a few websites that kind of worked with a little bit, but yeah. Site reputation abuse as well, and yeah, just have a look. It's a great update from her. Then there's a good question here from Brody as well. He brought this up, and this is very interesting. So basically, should we reevaluate how we treat pagination on larger sites? He thinks so. And again, usually what we recommend, Google recommends this actually, is to, well, first of all, having your next page, all those links should be crawlable. So if you press more products or next page, they have to be crawlable links. No question about that. That's not what we're discussing here, but the pages. So page 2, page 3, page 4. A lot of websites still canonicalize back to the main first page. And Google says, no, don't do that. We want to be able to crawl them, perhaps index them. And the reasoning from Google is if we canonicalize them, they will crawl them less and they won't discover those products. The question is, are those products, when we add new products to a category, do they come to the first page first and then are pushed back in terms of age? How does that even work? Do we have enough categories and do we have enough granular categorization that we get most of our products to rank in certain categories anyway? Is the question as well. And he thinks it's not really worth it because some of these page 2, page 3 starts ranking, and it might be cannibalizing a little bit. So it's a really interesting take on this, and I think we should probably still have a look at it. I would still like to flag it, but I'd put it as the lowest priority when it comes to these larger sites, especially check out if there's some of these that are ranking or not beforehand. So just an interesting insight here. I think we should definitely put it as the lowest priority when it comes to technical SEO tasks. Google Ads updates takes into account quality of user navigation experience. So I know this is not SEO, but I wanted to add this here because we've recently had a client who, again, not only a client, I've seen this many times where companies, they will create these landing pages that are only for ads. They no index them, which is fine, so we don't get duplicate content. But they're also very static. They don't have a menu, and so when people come to these pages, well, they can scroll, and that's really it. They might be able to click on something as well. So there's no menu, and I think that could hurt them. And it seems like it might be hurting one of our clients. And here's just another. Here's another reason to actually just send some of the ad traffic to your organic landing pages on your normal website. Why would we try not to do that? I mean, it's if they're good enough for indexing, they're good enough for ads, in my opinion. On other aspects here include do Google search versus Google shopping or ads, do they actually communicate with each other? Probably they do. I would if I was Google. So just more benefits from doing the latter one. AI overviews is killing CTRs of the organic and paid search results. Well, would you look at that? Surprise, surprise. And I really love the paid search results part because that's kind of hurting Google in a sense, weirdly enough. Again, have a look at this insights. It's pretty interesting. I'm not surprised at these, but it's nice to have the insights in the data to prove it. AI Overviews also has a comparison mode. So you can see it can compare two products with prices and other factors. So again, just having your product feeds and probably getting this from product feeds. Product feeds, merchant center up, structured data, and being competitive now is of course good when it comes to price or perhaps delivery or other factors or reviews. So all these things do matter in Google Shopping. AI Overviews probably uses that as well. I'd be surprised if they don't communicate. A really good guide here on SparkToro from one of the writers there on, how to do audience research. And she really, the writer here, I can't remember her name now, she really did a good job at putting in all the different ways you can do this. It's important for SEO. It's important for many other things. So have a look at this guide. And then we got, pretty long here. but a very interesting, very interesting article slash guide on the death of the keyword. Why aggregate organic traffic is better as a metric. And again, I agree with most of this. Basically, like targeting one keyword and assigning one keyword to one URL is just not the way to go. And tracking on keywords is just not the best way as well. I think we should definitely, as he says in this article, we should look at the URL and what kind of traffic is it bringing in, and then kind of try and gauge intent. Like, what is the intent of this page, and is it fulfilling the intent based on the metrics and the keywords we see, and then going for that, right? Like, and start tweaking your strategy based on those. So I would definitely look at traffic. And again, I can deep dive into keywords, but on a URL level, like this URL ranks for this. Which keywords are bring in the traffic? Can I then optimize the intent based on that? So it's not like we're going away from keywords. We're just, I think it's a good, like, let's not just track on one keyword. And a lot of these tracking tools, unfortunately, it costs a lot to track on one keyword. So you end up putting only the important keywords in there, like, oh, jeans and t-shirts and stuff like that. And you end up, I think, missing the picture. You see some drop in rankings, but you might actually see increased traffic in Search Console, and you might see increased revenue. And so I think some of these tracking tools should definitely open up for a little bit more granular, like maybe URL level. Like, give us a price per URL. That would be nice. And then 30, 40 keywords per URL max or something like that. Again, talks a lot about search behavior and how it's changed. Aggregate organic traffic is a focus. Intent over keywords. Yes, sir. Alternative SEO strategies like search features. Talks about LLMs and search disruption, and that SEO's future is intent driven. I'll just perfect article, must read. And then let's slow off here with a little bit of smaller news. Why GA, so Google Analytics and Google Search Console data do not match up. So a really good guide here for beginners. So have a look at that if you're curious. And then a fun one to finalize this long session here today. Cursing disables AI overviews. So Lily Ray, they keep sharing examples of AI overviews and how bad some of these results are. Again, I think it was a rushed product. I agree with her in many cases. And what's really funny is people have also complained that they can't disable it, but it seems like you can disable it by cursing. So there's a lot of funny examples of keywords that people are using, like how long does it take to beep cook a chicken, or something like that. Pretty interesting and funny. So have a look at that as well. And that's really it for the news. A lot of good stuff here from last week. I will publish another video next Monday or Tuesday, so keep posted. Subscribe, and you'll get the notification. Please like the video if you liked it. Comment if you need or want something. And if you're listening on Spotify, again, I will publish weekly as well these SEO news. So until we see each other again, have a lovely day.